Well, we all knew this was coming, didn't we? The big moment we have all been waiting for.
You don't get to rush this.
Oh my god!
So, let's talk about it. The Last of Us Season 2 picks up 5 years after the events of Season 1. Joel and Ellie are living in Jackson along with Tommy and his family. Things seem to be going moderately well. The town feels strong and well maintained, people are happy, Joel is back doing construction, and Ellie is throwing the smackdown on guys twice her size. Honestly, listening to Ellie try to convince this fully grown man to hit her as hard as he can is hilarious. Not only is it idiotic on a physical level, but it also just doesn't make any sense. This is the apocalypse. You shouldn't be risking serious injury in simple combat training. This is a world where every stitch and bandage is extremely valuable, because even the smallest of injuries could mean your undoing. Then there's the fact that your community is depending on you. Like, what would the explanation be here? Oh, by the way, Ellie can't go out on patrol today because Solomon Grundy over here knocked all of her teeth out while he was teaching her how to fight.
Not a great plan.
But anyway, turns out not everything is friendly between Joel and Ellie. Though it's not actually explained, people who have played the games, or at least have listened to the endless arguments online, would know that Ellie has become aware of what Joel did to the Fireflies, and is angry about it. Yeah, I'd hate it too if my dad saved me from being murdered by a band of militaristic revolutionaries that wanted to harvest my brain and organs on the off chance that it would create a vaccine. What a terrible guy. And that seems to be the official stance of this show. That Joel is a scumbag for saving Ellie from being sacrificed without her consent. I won't get too deep into this because I'm sure we've all heard the endless debates online before, but I'll make it clear that Joel did nothing wrong. Sure, we can talk about the philosophies of utilitarianism versus deontology. Is it moral to sacrifice one person to save millions? Yada yada yada.
But you yada yada over the best part.
That's not really the issue though. On a character level, Joel did the only thing that he could do, which is save his adopted daughter from being murdered. It really wouldn't have been a satisfying story had he done anything else. Our opinion of Joel would seriously be diminished if Season 1 had simply ended with him walking away and letting Ellie die. So to go back and essentially rake him over the coals for a justifiable decision and act like he's the biggest monster in the universe is simply not enjoyable to watch. Now don't get me wrong, having characters debate this decision and having them see things differently is expected. The writers did a good job of this with the character of Eugene. Joel apparently had to kill this guy when he got infected. Both he and Ellie know that there was a chance with the Fireflies to stop this virus. And because of that, Joel bears some responsibility for Eugene's death, which weighs on both characters. That's a really interesting insight into Joel's decision, and it causes us as the audience to reflect on his actions. But the show never really gives Joel the chance to defend his actions. We essentially just have to sit here and watch him get talked down to by every woman on the show who constantly berate him about how he's a piece of shit and everything he did was wrong. There was one moment where Joel defends himself, but it was to someone that has absolutely zero context as to what the fuck he was talking about. It felt pretty unnatural for Joel not to at least say his piece when he's about to be beaten to death with a fucking golf club like he's Andrew Ryan. Joel has so many opportunities to tell these guys that he was just trying to save his surrogate daughter from being murdered, which is a pretty justifiable motivation as to why he killed the Fireflies. Like, it probably wouldn't save Joel's life, but there's at least a chance one of them might stop this. This chick, for example, looked pretty uncomfortable with torturing him. He could have tried to say something. At the very least, Abby's friends might not let her stomp him out with a 9-iron. But nope, he just sits there and lets it happen because men suck, I guess.
Son of a bitch!
Okay, so where does this leave us? Well, now, like the video game, The Last of Us has a Joel-sized hole to fill into the story. Now, whether you like this decision or not, we can all agree that the original Ellie was a deep and interesting character that certainly could take on the role of being the story's lead. Show Ellie, on the other hand, looks, well, she doesn't look like someone who could survive in the apocalypse. She just doesn't present herself as this ultimate badass survivalist chick like she was in the games. I think there's a lot of evidence that passing the torch to Ellie is going to kill this show. Bella Ramsey simply doesn't have the charisma or acting abilities necessary to carry an entire series on her back. And say what you will about Pedro Pascal. Was he the best pick for Joel? No. But he does have the presence needed to be a leading man. And that's something that Bella Ramsey simply doesn't have. Her version of Ellie is not nearly as endearing or likable as her video game counterpart was. She's annoying, rude, obnoxious, awkward, dumb, arrogant, and that's only the traits she's displayed in the first 2 episodes of this season. It also goes without saying that Ellie's solo episode from season 1 was considered to be the worst of the entire show. There just isn't the same pull for the audience to get behind this character and cheer her on for multiple seasons. And of course, let's be honest here, she isn't very, visually appealing.
One ugly motherfucker.
All of this is to say that you can't get the audience invested in a main character, then drag him through the mud as if he's some pathetic asshole, only to brutally kill him off, and then replace him with a douchey teenager that nobody is invested in, and still have a successful TV show.
Not a great plan.
So that's why The Last of Us is doomed to fail. Because there is no way that they can create a character that was as interesting or compelling as Joel was.
You're goddamn right.
So thanks guys for listening, and if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And if you like this video and you want to see more like it, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.